guys, so in this video I wanted to talk about this glove that I purchased recently. It's a pretty unique and interesting glove. So this is not so much a review as it is I just kind of wanted to make a video about this unique glove just to put it out there because I really didn't know this glove existed. So I just, find it interesting and I wanted to put it out there and I don't know, maybe, I mean, I don't know anybody would really come across this probably naturally because it's probably a pretty rare glove. But in case you do, just so you know what you're getting into or possibly looking into buying before you actually buy it, because this is the worst glove I've ever used in my life. Of course, there's you always can say it's subjective. So, and obviously there was at least one person in the world that wanted this glove because that's who ordered it this way. But in general, and it's not against the build or whatever of the glove. It's just the way the specs of it, or the I'll get into it how it's made or whatever, like the shape of it, the break, that kind of stuff. I just don't see this being something that almost anybody would want. So, without further ado, I am talking about this pro return, pro stock, however you want to call it, that a higher level guy used it. Bauer Mock, although it is definitely not the stock mock glove, and it's not even really hyperlight skinned as a mock, even though that's what I bought it and that's what it was sold as. Not on purpose. I'm not holding the guy I bought this from accountable or like saying he tried to swindle me or fool me. I completely understand why he did not realize what this glove was, because like I said, I didn't know what this glove was until I did a little research myself. But it was posted for sale as a hyperlight, Bauer hyperlight skinned as a mock. Now, I told you this is like a pro stock, pro return, whatever you want to call it. This belonged to Jacob Kucharski, I think his name is. He's played the past 2 seasons with the University of Nebraska, Omaha. And he even played like one game, I think, with the AHL, the Chicago Wolves. But mainly he's been playing NCAA Division I hockey. So his set of glove and blocker was put for sale. Like I said, the blocker was sold as a boy, I'm getting them all mixed up. A mock, and it is. It's a Bauer mock. I'm not doing this video. Is not about the blocker. It's just basically a stock Bauer mock blocker. And then in the ad it said the glove was a hyperlight skinned as a mock. So out of the Bauer lines, I like, when it comes to the glove, I definitely like the hyperlight better. The blocker, I could use either one. I mean, I prefer slightly better the hyperlight, but I could use the mock no problem. I think they're both excellent blockers. But when it comes to the glove, because of the break and shape of the glove, I prefer the hyperlight. So since I saw this said it was a hyperlight skinned as a mock, I was like, okay, that should work for me. And I mean, if you look at it, I mean, if you're just basing it on like a picture you see of it, it definitely didn't look like a mock break. And the only other thing other than a mock or a hyperlight that I've even seen or known about is, and it's only offered to pros, is a 580 break, the 90-degree break. But I don't have a true 580 90-degree break to show you, but if I did, you would see the shape of the glove when it's open like this doesn't quite look like this. And just for reference, I want to show you my Vaughn glove. That is a 590 break, which is the most similar to what a hyperlight is, pretty much. So this is Vaughn's 590 break glove. So you could see the shape is a little more like the Vaughn glove. A mock, true mock has it's more oval shaped and coming out that way more. A true 580 would be coming up more, the shape of it, where the pocket's coming up more. A 590 is kind of a more just pancakey round shape like this. So I had no reason to think it wasn't between what the description was, the picture I saw, whatever. So I get the glove and blocker in the mail. I put the glove on. Immediately when I put it on, it felt pretty fucking weird. Definitely did not feel like the Hyperlight glove I've owned in the past. Did not even feel like... I didn't own a mock, but I owned a Supreme 2 glove, and it's basically the same shape and the same kind of feel with the closure, and it didn't feel like that either. Now, I've never owned myself a 580, but I've tried them on. I've put it, like in a store. I've closed them, whatever. So I basically know what it feels like to close a 580, and I don't like it. I think it feels weird, and that's what this one felt like when I went to try to close it. So you can't see the way my hand is closing this, and I've done a video on this before. I mentioned this in other glove videos, whatever. So just to kind of go over the breaks, we'll start with 580. 580 is basically fingertips into palms with the thumb up. It's almost like when you close it, you're almost like you're giving a thumbs up. So it goes like that. And the difference between the types of gloves is two things mainly: break and shape. So I kind of talked about the shape a second ago. So this is the break, or how you close it. So that's 580 would be like this. 590, which is what I prefer and to me feels the most natural, is kind of, it's a subtle difference. Like you might think you're kind of doing the same thing, but your thumb is a little more angled. It's not more as straight up, and you're closing it kind of base of thumb and then into palm. Whereas again, 580 is pretty much all straight palm, like just fingers straight across like this. 590 is more like this, and to me feels the most natural. And a 600 is like almost like fingertips, almost like you're pinching something like that. It's kind of like a baseball, the way some baseball gloves feel. So this glove, even though it looks more like a 590, was said to be a Hyperlight. The position of my hand and the way I close it when it's inside the glove is like this. So I'm thinking, okay, this is weird, because if you know anything about a 580, and when you close a 580, it does not look like this. Okay, this is how this glove looks like when it's closed. Again, I'm going to show you my Vaughn. When this is closed, looks kind of similar, where the pocket goes like that when it's closed. This same kind of thing, pocket goes like that. A 590, I'm going to try to mold this the way a 590 look. When a 590 closes, it would look more, kind of hard to do this. It would look more like with the pocket going up, flipped up like that, but effortlessly. I'm making it do that. Just like if I wanted to with my Vaughn glove, I could make that flip up too. But naturally, it doesn't close like that. So the glove itself looks like a 590, open, closed, whatever. But the hand felt weird, man. I've never put a 590 glove on my hand that felt like this when I was trying to close it or whatever. So I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on here? So I reached out to this guy, Chris Dudo. If you're on GGSU, if you've dealt with maybe Goalie Monkey in the past, you might know who he is. He's worked on like retail and custom ordering stuff for many years in the industry, but mostly with Goalie Monkey. I'm not 100% sure if he worked at some point with some other retailer or whatever, but he's probably most well known for working with Goalie Monkey. Currently now he's got a channel he recently started, which if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. It's the Goalie Gear Snob is the name of his channel. So he talks about gear, whatever, and again, he's very knowledgeable. He's worked in the industry for a while. So go ahead and subscribe to his channel. He's a good guy. He's very knowledgeable, like I said. But anyway, so I was kind of at a loss with this glove. So I reached out to him, just being like, hey, wild stab in the dark. Do you know anything about this glove? I explained to him what it was, whatever. And he did. So he told me what it was. So apparently Bauer early on in their attempts to appease goalies that liked a 580 break, even though they didn't really offer it because their mock is more like a 600 brake and their Hyperlight is more like a 590 brake. Those are the two lines. They really didn't have a 580 brake, and there's just some pro guys that want that. And at this point, they have a glove that's more like a 580 brake. Now, nothing's ever going to feel like, unless you get a Lefebvre made glove, who they were like the originators of these brakes. Other brands copying them usually feel maybe a little different. You're not going to get maybe the exact same feel. But Bauer currently does make what they would call a true 580 glove, the closest possible to like a Lefebvre 580 glove. First goal that comes to mind is like James Reimer uses it. But I guess what happened is, and this is what Chris explained to me, is before they came out with like their true 580 in an attempt to appease these goalies, they basically took like a 590 base of a glove and they just kind of try to make it close like a 580. So, and that's basically what I experienced with this. It's like a 590 look and shape, and the way the palm closes, like from the outside, it looks like a 590, but your hand movement and position on the inside is a 580. So he said they called it like their 580, 590 alternate glove or whatever. I hate this glove. Like I had already mentioned this. This is by far the worst feeling glove I've tried. So I went ahead and I did try to use this. I took it to a pickup session. I only used it the one time. I just cannot use this again. I couldn't catch anything for one thing. It just felt so awful on my hand. And it actually hurt my hand. Like my hand was in pain afterwards. I've never experienced that with a glove before, but two parts of my hand were in pain. My thumb, because of how it was like held more upright than I'm used to and it felt weird, was sore, and the like kind of muscles on the back of my wrist, because besides like this motion when I close it, I almost felt like I had to kind of turn my hand to close it too. It's very weird. So these are things that my hand is not at all used to doing, and so my thumb and kind of like the top wrist muscles, whatever, were sore the next day. And it just felt so damn uncomfortable and weird to use. I'm pretty picky about, like, I really can only use a 590 brake. Like anything else, I just don't catch as good and it doesn't feel good. But compared to this, I would much rather use a 600. I could even use a 580, even though, like a true 580, even though I think that feels the weirdest out of all the three brakes. But at least it's a true 580, not this like weird combination. Because it's just trying to shoehorn a 580 feel into a 590 glove, and it's weird. You know, I would really be interested to talk to Kucharski here and be like, why did you want this? Like, what is it about this that you wanted this weird speck of a glove that Bauer kind of experimented with? Because I have never come across this glove before. Like I've seen pro return, like I said, like Reimer, whatever. Especially I live down in South Florida. Panthers sell game use stuff at their arena, so like they've had some James Reimer stuff in the past. There, I've seen his glove. You know, so I've seen Bauer's like attempt at a true 580. I just don't understand why at this point anyone would want this glove, ask for this glove. It's just so bad. The only other gear that I've used and I've talked about on this channel that I really didn't like was the CCM Premier 1 pads. This is now going to be like the second piece of gear that I just really hate and cannot recommend at all. Like I said, I guess, hey man, this guy ordered it. I don't care what weird spec thing you come out with, there's always probably going to be somebody that's going to say they like it or whatever. But in general, I don't see a lot of people using this glove or wanting this glove or whatever. It's just weird. Like, just use a 580 if that's what you want. The only thing that comes to mind is if you just really want that glove shape of a 590, but you like a 580 closure. But I just still don't think it works. It feels even more uncomfortable to me than just a true 580. Because like I said, it's just, you're trying to shoehorn that feel into a glove that's a different shape. And it's just not working, man. You know, I was hoping this was a true Hyperlight skinned as a mock, because In general, I like the Hyperlight glove better if we're talking about just stock gloves, but I've always liked the backhand of the Mach or Supreme line. It's been this kind of backhand for that line, not just Mach, because I like this little tab, whatever, and on the back of your wrist that has the elastic and flips up, because it allows you to present the glove easier than even the Hyperlight, because the Hyperlight has a much more traditional backing, somewhat somewhat similar to the Vaughn, where you see it's just kind of traditional. There's not really any give to that backhand, but with this one, you know, it has this give, so you can have that wrist flexion better to present it better. But the way you close this thing, it just does not feel good at all. I did not like it at all. And I mean, like the closure itself is fairly easy, and this is a pro palm. It's not game ready, so it's not like there's resistance from the glove to close it. It's just the position my hand has to be in to close it feels so fucking weird. I just do not like this glove at all. Okay. But I just thought it was something interesting. Like I said, I didn't, before talking to Chris after getting this glove, I didn't, you know, that's the only way I even knew this glove existed. So I thought, oh, interesting. I'll do a little video on it. So it's not really a review. And if you want a review, I hate it. It sucks. That's the review. But it's just, I don't know. I just want to throw it out there in case maybe one of you guys encounters this in the wild, or maybe you have in the past. Leave a comment if you've ever encountered this weird variant of a glove that Bauer has done for some pro guys or whatever. Uh, but yeah, so that's basically just going to be the video. I mean, I just kind of wanted to say that I tried this weird glove and I hated it. You know, hadn't made a video in a little while, so you know, kind of missed it. Wanted to do something here. I'm probably gonna make a video, since I did get a true Mach blocker with this. It came as a glove set, and I already use a Hyperlight blocker. I'll do a video coming up with the differences between a Mach and Hyperlight. It's not a lot. Like I said, I think they're both great. I can use both pretty seamlessly. It doesn't feel a whole lot different using one or the other. But still, I'll make a video just going over the differences in case people were wondering or whatever. But this video is just about this weird glove. So, yep, that's going to be it. Until the next one, see you guys and be good.